Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit controversial. I've been reading for quite a while now, and since starting my booktube channel I'm starting to get a couple of subscribers now. I've got 37 at the moment, which I'm really excited about. I'm really happy, so thank you to all my subscribers for first and foremost. But I was looking at how maybe I could get more out of my reading experience, how I could give you guys more better reviews and probably do spoiler ones as well as spoiler free ones. So like the spoilery ones would be more book discussions, and the spoiler free ones would obviously be more of a spoiler free review format. And I came across a couple of videos here on YouTube that were sort of talking about how they were annotating their books and how they seemed to be completely converted, like one of them being Ariel Bissett, who's recently hosted the Booktubeathon. Almost a bit liberating. I'll link her video down below. And the general consensus tends to be the same. Tends to be people who have kept their books pristine and then all of a sudden decided to start annotating to get more out of their reading experience, and to I think the process of writing helps you concrete information in your brain and remember things a lot better than just reading does, because it gives you a more active reading experience than a passive one. Generally people have been completely converted from not touching the books to scribbling all over them and being really happy with the finished results, being really happy that they've put that time and effort in, that next time they read it they're like, oh yeah, I forgot that I thought this last time. Because I often find myself reading a book and every couple of pages think, oh, I must remember that quote, I must remember what page it's on. And then I carry on reading the book and I get to the end of the book and I'm like, oh, there was a really good quote in there and I can't find it. And it's not necessarily a quote either, it could be a point of view or an opinion or something, or the way a sentence has been structured, and I go back and I'm like, I can't find it. And also obviously because I've not annotated it as I've gone along, I then don't necessarily feel willing to go back and trawl through all the pages to try and find what I was looking for in the first place. So yeah, so the other thing, so from there, watching a couple of booktube videos on how to annotate, I started having a look on the internet itself, and I googled sort of how to mark a book just to see if I could get any ideas for processes, for what people marked, how people did it. And I found this essay called How to Mark a Book by Mortimer J. Adlet. Now I think it was published in the early 1940s, so it's quite old. However, it had some really interesting points about marking a book. One of the things that I think spoke to me massively was books, music writing, sort of art, as in like fine painting, sculpting and things like that, are all an art form. The ability to create something out of nothing is an art form, regardless of whether you like it or not. However, there's different types of art. There is your portraits and your sculptures, which you wouldn't get home and then go scribbling on them in Sharpie and writing stuff on them necessarily, because they're already a visual sort of representation of what you like, because you wouldn't have bought it otherwise. Stay with me here. Yet books and sort of manuscripts for music, you know, I think sometimes you need to unpick them a little bit. Books especially, to get the most out of your reading experience. Like, yeah, Mortimer argues that the soul of the book can be separated from its body. So merely having rows and rows of pretty books that look untouched and unread is more an appreciation for the crafter who's bound the books than the books itself. To appreciate a book, he argues that you need to get it into your bloodstream, like you would a good a good meal, you wouldn't just sit there and look at it and not touch it. You would admire it, and then you'd eat it, and you would enjoy it while you were eating it as well. I think that being said, I think it's probably something I'm going to try and do more of. Now, Mortimer J. Adler did have a set of rules which I totally agree with him with. For example, I'm not going to go scribbling on any first editions of books, neither am I going to go scribbling in any signed copies of books or anything like that, because that would just be really, really silly. However, I think some of my bigger books and some of my non-fiction books, I'm definitely going to make an effort to be more active in my annotations so that I can deliver better content for you guys and also have a better reading experience for myself. The other thing Mortimer J. Adler points out is the fact that there are 3 different types of readers, which I found really interesting, and I know which type I am at present, but I know which type I'd like to be, so let me just read them out. So there are 3 kinds of book owners. The first has all the standard sets and bestsellers, unread and untouched. This deluded individual owns wood, pulp and ink, not books. The second has a great many books, few of them read though. Most of them dipped into, but all of them as clean and shiny as the day they were bought. This person would probably like to make books his own, but is restrained by a false respect for their physical appearance. The third has few or many books, every one of them dog-eared and dilapidated, shaken and loosened by continual use, marked and scribbled in from front to back. This man owns books. So I'm probably more of the second one at the minute. I have quite a few books. I have dipped in and out. Some of them I've read and loved, some of them also. The article I found really interesting, and he made some really solid points. Like, for instance, you can't let your eyes glide across the line of a book and come up with an understanding of what you have read. The same with if you were in class with a teacher. If the teacher told you something you didn't understand, you wouldn't just sit there and go, you'd put your hand up and question it, or sometimes even argue to a certain extent with the teacher and say, well, actually, I don't agree with what you're saying. You would question it. So marking your books is almost like questioning your beliefs, but also questioning the author. It's like having a monologue with you and the author. And I think that's what makes a reading experience personal. Now, I'm not saying in any sense of the word that if you don't mark your books, then you're not a reader. I personally don't think that. I currently don't mark my books, but it's something I'm going to start doing. And I think especially works of fiction, some of them don't actually really require that much of an active reading process anyway. But I think it's something that everyone should try, even if it's just one book. Just try it and see how it goes. Also, let me know down below if you do annotate your books, and if you do, what type of annotations you make on your books. Do you have a set system? I found that my system will probably change depending on the book. For example, if I'm reading a biography that's about certain events, then I'm probably going to have a tab that helps timeline those events, especially if it jumps from passage to passage. Or like a diary, for example, I'm probably going to have a couple of tabs that tell me where that just tells me over what length of time this spans over as well as other things like quotes that I like, things I agree with, things I disagree with, things I didn't like, new words, and find the meaning of those new words as well. So yeah, I feel like this has been a bit of a rambly video, but let me know if you agree or disagree. How to mark a book is readily available if you type it into Google. I just got it as a PDF, downloaded it and printed it out. I will link where I got it from down below if anyone wants to have a read. I'm also getting one of his other books, which is How to Read a Book, because he agrees that you should read things like a classic 3 times to truly appreciate them and things like that. But yeah, definitely have a read. If you like my videos, please click the red button down below, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.